Welcome back, YouTube. My name is Josh Kinney, and in this one I'm excited to bring you a 3-step tutorial. First, we'll go over how to set up a profile image. So you can see here we have a simple circle that has an image inside. You can use the image I will provide, or you can go out and get a system name image as well. Either works and will work totally fine. The second part of this tutorial will be able to actually use an image picker and then upload that image that we select to replace the one we have here. And that would look like this. You'll click on the image, you'll get access to your images. Once you select it, it will go ahead and dismiss that view, and then it'll go ahead and show up here. The last thing I want to show you, and I don't have it set up in this one, but you will see it in the video, is how to access the camera. So then, whenever you go to click on this to replace this, you'll actually be given an option to use the camera as well. And then if you click that, then you can take an image, use that image, and that would Alright, so now we have a simple project called Profile Image Created. You want to go ahead and click on this Find tab, then do Find and Replace in Project, and just do Content View. And the reason why I want to do this is I just want to rename the content view, and we want to rename it with Profile View. So this is going to only be a couple of files. I'm not going to want to have content view. So go ahead and do that, replace all. And then you'll see automatically, boom, all these are now replaced. If you go into content view, you'll see everywhere it is. If you go into the app, it says profile view is called instead of content. The only thing it doesn't is the actual name here. So you can just go ahead and do profile view, and that'll take care of that. Now we're ready to begin. So go ahead and open up your profile view. Right here you'll have hello world. We are going to change this, and what we want it to be is an actual circle. And with that circle, we want to hold the image and have another little circle with the plus that I showed you in the very beginning. So let's go ahead and put our assets in first. So if you click on assets, you see I have it here in my desktop. I will have this linked in the description, so you can go out there and save that as well and put that wherever you want. But I'm going to go ahead and drag it here, and it's going to be called, I'm going to name it Profile Image. The image is going to be capitalized, the I. And that's how I'm going to leave that. From the profile view now, we are going to create this. So start off by doing a button. And there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm not saying this is the only way or the best way, but this is a way to achieve what you want. Right here, we're not going to do an action yet, but inside this label here, we are actually going to do an image. And that image is going to be named Profile Image. Oop. That's what I just created. Now if we hit resume, we should be able to see this. And there we go. So now we need to do a couple of things with that. The first thing, we want to make it resizable. The next thing, we want to do a frame. And we're going to do the width and height, and I'm going to make it 120 just because I like that. I see a lot of videos, people making their images and stuff as 100. Whatever works for you. You can keep it centered alignment, or you can delete that. I go ahead and delete it. And then the last thing I want to achieve here is a circle. So you can do that by doing clip shape. And circles normally already filled out. There we go. And we're going to leave it as a circle, and you'll see very soon that this will automatically take the shape of the 120 and then a circle as well. Boom, just like that. Okay, now we want to go ahead and put this button inside a Z stack. Okay, because we want the plus circle to actually sit on top of that. So now that it's in the Z, we want to go underneath the button, and now we want to go ahead and create the next shape, which is going to be the plus sign. So I'm going to do an image again, and this time it's going to be a system image. Our system name image. We are going to name this plus. Let me make sure it's popping up. There it is. You can barely see it there, but I will change that in a minute. circles. Got to make sure I knew what I set my frame to. So the first 30 and 30 is the height. Again, I delete my alignment. Then we're going to make the foreground color whatever you want. I see a lot of people doing like blue and white, but since my picture is a gray, I'm going to make the foreground a white. Okay, and then I'm going to make that background a gray. Again, oh, I need to do color. I think no, I can just do dot gray. Very sure of it. No, let me see, dot gray. Does that work? No, I gotta do color. Sorry, color dot gray. Okay, and then that should make that gray. There we go. And then the last thing we want to do as well is the clip shape and make that a circle. Okay, so now we have a perfectly circle plus sign, and then we have this right here, which is it's actually a button. So other ways I've seen this is people make this little circle a button, which is fine, but you got to make sure you click on that little bitty thing in the app. I like to make the whole thing the button, and then they'll just by other apps know if it's got that little plus sign, it's gonna work. So even if they're off the plus sign a little bit, the button's still gonna activate. So that's why I like making the image the actual button. But the way we're gonna make this sit actually down here, like I showed you on the other preview, is up here in the Z stack. You just want to do an alignment, and then you want to do of type bottom trailing, and there it is. So now that's sitting there. So now the next thing we want to do is when we select this, we want to be able to go ahead and open up the images. So now let's go ahead and get that going. So to be able to make our image picker, we need to go and use UIKit. The reason for that is in SwiftUI, there's no way of doing it on that side yet. So I'm sure you maybe have heard or used a UI view representable. This is very similar, but it's a view controller representable. So UI view controller representable. The difference is one's a view like a text view, one's a view controller like we're getting ready to implement now, or a UI view picker controller. So that's why we need that here. So what I need you to do is make a new file, call it ImagePicker, and then I already have one the struct in here. I will put these two functions in here in the description to make it easier, but just make sure you have imported SwiftUI and UIKit. It is a struct of ImagePicker, and then that's a type UI view controller representable. Now inside here are the two functions you need. And again, these will be pasted in the description for you. But one is make UI view controller and one is update UI view controller. Now you can just start typing like update UI view controller and then hit enter, and it'll automatically fill that in for you. This one we're actually going to leave alone for right now because we're not going to need it. But this is the one that we're actually going to do something with. So the first thing we need to do is set our image picker. So let image picker be equal to UI image picker controller, and now we need to go in there and see and set the allows editing. So do image picker dot allows editing and set that to false for now. So if you wanted to do like cropping or something inside your app, you can allow the editing to be true, and then you can set that up. We're not going to cover that topic in this one, so we're going to set that to false for now. The next thing you want to do is do your image picker dot source type, and you'll see that there. And then we're going to set that to a source type. Now let's go real quick and make the variable source type. So this will be var source type UI image picker source type, and then that's going to be set to .photo library. Now you can see right here the other option for this could be camera, but we'll go over that at the end. So we're going to do just photo library for right now, and then we're going to set the source type to equal the source type that we just created. Okay, now the last thing we need to do inside this function is return the image picker that we just set up. So now our image picker is ready to go. But now there's one thing we need to go ahead and set up after the fact, and that is once we go into our camera, actually let me see if I can run this for you and show you. because seeing is always better than just believing what someone is saying. So give this a second. And sometimes when I run my simulator, my voice is kind of laggy. I don't know why I have the M1 chip and everything, but if that happens a little bit, I apologize. So let's go ahead and hit this button here, and nothing happens. So we need to set this up inside this profile view, and then after we set it up, we're going to be able to access the camera, but it's still not going to save the image over here to this. So it's not going to replace this. So we need to set up that logic as well. So that's what. So let's go ahead and go back to our profile view, but I'm going to stop this for now. Profile view here, and we're going to go ahead and work inside of here. So we're going to need to make at least 2 state variables. I like to do 3. It is 2 booleans that could basically be used to do the same thing, but it reads out better if you separate it. So, and I'll show you what I mean. So the first one is going to be a var, and this is going to be change. I called it change profile image, and then that's going to be set to false. And then the next one is going to be the same thing. So at state var open camera roll, and we're going to set that to false as well. And then the last one is going to be a var state var of image selected, and then that's going to be of type UI image. Okay, so we have our variables taken over here. So now let's go ahead and do it. So now the action, and the reason why I do this is because you want to change the profile image. That's doing one task, and then when the camera roll is open, which when you click that, the camera roll will open, that's a second task. But really, I could use all of this to just be with one of these variables if you wanted. But I just like the readability better. So right here, you want to go ahead and set both these to true. So change profile image, we're going to set this to true once you click on the button. And then the next thing is the same thing with the open camera roll. You're going to set this to true as well. And then right here, we need to do some logic, okay? So right now we're just showing the image. So we need to actually do something like this. So if change profile image is true, then we need to do something, and then else we need to do something. And we can just grab this right here, cut that, and actually throw it in here. So that's what's going to happen if else. And then if it is, we're going to set up an image of what's up here is we set this to the UI image, so we need to make a UI image, and then that's going to be of type the image selected that we created. Okay, so now we want these both to be the same here. So we want it to be resizable, .frame the same, and then the clip shape the same. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to paste that right here. However, I don't really like this, okay? It works, it's good, but I don't like this. So in a minute, we're going to actually come back and change this a little bit and show you a little tip, okay? So now, at the very end of this, we need to actually do something with the sheet that pops up. So once you click on it, the sheet needs to pop up. So go to the end of the Z stack here. So that's right here, and we're going to do a dot sheet, not shadow. Sorry guys, I am getting tired. And then you want to do is presented. All I want is this presented, so I'm just going to type it out. And then we're going to pass in the $sign and then that open camera roll. Okay, and here I want to explain this real quick. We'll do open and close, and then we'll do our logic in a second. But right here, see, so if change profile image is true, so if this changes, do this. If it wasn't changed, then don't do anything. Okay, so if I would have used the same boolean on both of them, it would have said if change profile image was changed, if that's true, then do this. So you could technically do that, it just doesn't flow as smooth. So I like using two separate ones to do two different tasks. But in this case, you technically could have got away with one. Okay, so finishing off the sheet here, we're going to go ahead and do our image picker that we created now. We can now access that. Okay, and then we're going to do the source type. And then we're going to set that to be self.image selected. I am kidding. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to do dot photo library because we need just the source type. So there's that. Now let's go ahead and run this real quick. So you get your image, click on the image, and it doesn't actually go back here yet, okay? And that was what I was trying to do ahead of the schedule, and that's set it. So we need to fix this. So whenever you click, now this is working here just fine, but actually replacing it with the image that we select is not. So let's now take care of it. So to do that, we need to go ahead and stop the simulator. We don't need that. We need to, so we have right here on this sheet, we have a source type, but now we also need a selected image. So how do we do that? Well, we need to go back to this image picker and create that. So let's go there to the image picker, and up here at the top here, let's make a binding variable. We're going to call this selected image, and we're going to make that of type UI image. That's the same thing as selected image on the, I'm sorry, not selected image. That's the same thing as image selected, so backwards. That's a UI image as well, so we're keeping that the same. And then the next thing we want to do is do add environment, and then you want to do /dot, and then presentation mode, and then we're going to set this to private var, and then we're going to name this presentation mode. Okay. And then actually we'll leave the variables all together there. And then down here now underneath this last function we did, we need to paste in this class. Now I'll either have this pasted in the description, or I may even go ahead and put all this source code out. It's a GitHub repository for you guys to check out just in case you wanted to go. I know a lot of these functions are templated coded, but you can go through them if you'd like to have a better understanding. But I'll go over this real quick with you guys. So this is a final class of coordinator. This is a VNS object, UI image picker controller delegate, and UI navigation controller delegate. Guys, I want to mention real quick, I am going on about 4 hours of sleep, and I've been coding today for about 9 or 10 hours straight. So I am starting to get tired, and my eyes are starting to go cross-eyed. So I apologize on that, but I'm going to keep pushing through. So this is going to be var parent of type image picker, and then we're just going to initialize that here and do self parent equals parent. Okay, this is the main thing that you want to understand. Did finish picking media with info. So once you select the image, that is the did finish picking. What happens? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do, hey, if the image is set to this, we're going to wrap that as a UI image, and which this is what we set our image to be anyways. And then we're going to do parent.selected image, which this is the selected image right here that we just created. We're going to set that to equal this image right here. So we're unwrapping that and then saving the image here. And then on the next profile view file, we're going to grab that and then save it to the selected image, or the image selected. It's backwards on the other one. So the last thing you do here is you do a parent.presentation.wrapValue to get to this .dismiss. And that's going to dismiss the sheet whenever it's all said and done. Okay, the last thing you want to do here is right here you want to do the coordinator. I'm going to set that up real quick. So we're going to do func. Actually, we can just type in make coordinator. And then right here, we're going to set this coordinator to equal or to self. And then we want to go, make sure, yep. Then we want to go back up here to this image picker. We're going to do ImagePicker dot delegate. And we're going to set this to be that context right here. So this context here that we set, we're going to do context dot, and now we can grab that coordinator. Okay, and then we're still going to return the image picker. Okay, so we're going to save that there. Now we're going to go over here and hit build real quick because I know we're going to get an error. And you're going to see down here, oh, the source type, but now we're needing something else, and that's that selected image. And you can see if it's type binding. So we can pass in up top here that we have this image selected. We can pass that in here. So go ahead and do image selected, and now it's going to grab that and upload it to here. So now let's run this bad boy and see if we get the final result. So we're going to hit the plus here. Boom, we're going to get our images. Go ahead and hit this, and there it goes, it saves. Gonna go ahead, and this is what I was talking about in the very beginning with the button. You can hit this button here, and it's still gonna go off. Click on something else, or if you're off a little bit with your finger and you hit the actual image, it's still gonna open this up. And that's what I like so much about making this the actual button versus just this little area here. Just a preference, you can do it either way. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to talk about, and the final thing for this video, is the camera side. So now let's go ahead and work on accessing that camera. All right, so let's show you how to switch from photo library to camera, and that's right here on this sheet. Go down here to source type, and instead of .photo library, you actually have three choices. You have camera, photo album, photo library, or save photos album. We're gonna go to camera. Then we're going to go over here to our info plist. We're going to add right here, and we're going to type in privacy, because when you're accessing the camera, you have to allow some kind of privacy. Camera usage description, and then over here you can add a value. So I'm going to go ahead and add, please allow SwiftUI app ability to access the camera. Save that there. Now I'm not going to be able to run this on the simulator, so I'm going to actually run it on my iPhone, and I'm going to share it with QuickTime so you guys can see. So here it is. I'm going to hit add, and there you go. Profile image, which is the name of my app, would like to access the camera. Please allow SwiftUI app ability to access the camera. I'm going to hit OK, and then just like that, I can access the camera. So there it is. It's working. Great. Now let me show you one other thing here. If I go to Yelp, Yelp has an image right here because I've never set up a profile image, and that's just a generic camera with a plus sign. You can get that in FS symbols and add your own instead of using the profile image upload picture that that's sitting here that I use for this tutorial. You can use this. Okay, but whenever I select this, check it out. I get two options. I can either use my Facebook profile photo or take or choose one. So that I hit take or choose, now they're bringing you up a slide or not a sheet, I'm sorry. And then you have two options. You can either take a photo or you can select from a library. That's all they're doing. So they're taking the code we just created and putting it into two different spots on the view. So if you select take a photo, it's going to say please allow or access camera access. I've already said no before, so that's why it takes us to this weird screen. But it would have taken you to the same screen that just showed in our app if I wouldn't have already, said don't allow last time. The next thing, I can hit select from library, and then I can go in there. Again, I denied it on this too, but I can go in there and accept it, the photos, and then I can select the photos I want. So I just wanted to show you how they're using that in a real working app, and you can too. The last thing I want to show you in this, and this is because I talked about it a little bit ago, is inside of our app, we have this image here and image here, and they're using the same modifiers twice. Okay, let's refactor this, or we're only using it once. Plus, it's something cool for you to learn. So we're going to go right here to this profile image mod file. So go ahead and make that, because I know I haven't told you to do that yet. Name that whatever you want. I'm going to name mine profile image mod. And then this is going to be an extension of image. Okay, and then inside of here, we're going to have a function that is going to be called profile image mod. It's going to return some view, and it's going to be self, and then underneath here you can add any modifiers you want. So go back here, grab all three modifiers, copy, come back over here, paste them, and then just like that, we just created a reusable mod for your images. So now we can do dot profile, and you can see, boom, there it is. And just like that, we're going to do it here, dot profile, there it is. And now if you hit resume, you are going to see, there it is, same size, everything is working as it should. So I thought that was a nice little tidbit that I could leave you guys with, and that's going to do it for this tutorial. If this was at all helpful for you guys, please give me a like or a thumbs up. Please hit that bell button if you want to see my upcoming content. And as always, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, as it lets others know about my content, so hopefully I can help them as well. Thank you so much, and as always, have a wonderful day.